I am here standing in front of you to speak on agricultural knowledge management in the climate change context with a special reference to what is written into the rice knowledge management portal, which at present I am handling. I will be dealing with two quite different they appear to be maybe, but how are we going to blend the concept of climate change impacts on agriculture as a sector, and rice with a specific reference, and how are we planning to develop a rice knowledge management portal keeping in view the climate change context in land. As you all know, there are several drivers of agriculture in the context of climate change. There is increasing population leading to the higher, that to quality demand for food, and increasing urbanization, even though officially people say that there are 143.5 million hectares of net cultivated area in the country. When I was a MSc student at IR, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, I was told that 143.5 million hectares. Even now as senior scientist, I am going into the same statistics. But unofficially, we are all aware that net cultivable area is around 130 million hectares only, contrary to what has been reported in official documents. Increasing rural migration, including tenant farming, contract and cooperative farming, where government of Andhra Pradesh has taken some initiative in recent past, and increasing the inter and intra-sectoral competition for resources, as was mentioned by Dr. N.H. Rao, land, water, energy, credit. How are we going to manage them effectively along with the knowledge embodiment? And increasing globalization, as you all know, removal of trade barriers and information and communication technologies availability. How are we going to harness the opportunities as India as a state? And the new technologies like biotechnology, space and information technology, how are we going to make them effective as far as agriculture in general and rice as a sector in particular? And increasing privatization of agricultural extension. You know that public funding for agricultural extension has been declining. Several studies have been quoted. Most prominent one of them was by Rivera and Khalim Qamar from Bangladesh. And the climate change agriculture dimensions, if you take, there are broadly three kinds of dimensions that can be attributed to the climate change context when it comes to the agriculture. One is socio-economic changes, which tend to amount for enhanced population and increased poverty and increased urbanization, globalization, and thereby making the socio-economic communities as vulnerable groups and vulnerable production systems whereby they are operating. And the global climate changes like increased temperature and carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases, rainfall and seasonal aberrations and sea level rise are going to be the another dimension which is going to have impact on the agriculture. And natural resource management and natural resource changes like water cycles, soil fertility, erosion, biodiversity and deforestation. Everything is going to have impact in agriculture in general and rice in particular, which we are going to trying to solve some of the problems emanated by the climate change. As was mentioned by Dr. N.H. Rao, the climate change may alter the spatial and the temporal demands and the supply by impacting the food production at micro and macro level, and hence the food security, of course, of the nation. And stability and the sustainability problems will be emanated, and the employment and autonomy, and profitability at farmers level, household economies, and the trade at macro level are going to be adversely affecting. The impacts, adaptations and mitigation feedbacks, which will be probably covered by Dr. Srinath Dikshit, I am not going to cover under my presentation. In nutshell, if you take the glimpses of climate change scenario and vis-a-vis seasonal aberrations, by 2020 there is a prediction that the Rabi, the lowest increase in temperature is going to be 1.08 degrees Celsius, and highest is as high as 1.54, which will have tremendous impact on rice production of the country, not to talk about various other developing world. And 2080s we are going to have huge impacts as far as the temperature changes and rainfall changes are concerned, which will have adverse impact not only on the production systems but also on the income levels of those small and marginal farmers whom we are talking about. And there was a study conducted in North India to assess the impact of climate change on the rice cultivation, and the figures are alarming, and we need to do something as far as the enhancing the adaptation capacities of vulnerable groups, particularly in rice regions of the country, is concerned. We have a lot of options that will be expected to come in near future, converting C3 into C4 plant. The very plant type of rice we are going to change. And the new farm management practices, of course, you all know about that. And change in land use, as was mentioned by Dr. N.H. Rao. Agro-insurance and many other options are available right now. But the change the way knowledge is managed, that has been generated over last 6 decades. As far as rice is concerned, I can speak on All India Coordinated Rice Improvement Project that has generated huge amounts of data, and with 20,000 germplasm accessions, we are the biggest germplasm preservators of the world. How are we going to manage effectively this knowledge, and how are we going to embed this knowledge with the technological intervention and the services is going to be very crucial as far as climate change context, rice development is concerned. As you all know, rice is key to food security of the country, and the compound growth rate, when there was no climate change context which was envisaged during 2001 and 2, was stagnated at 1.7 around, which is very low. Given the target of meeting the 125 million tons by 2025, we need to increase the productivity, rice productivity in irrigated regions by 1.5 tons per hectare. And in rain-fed lowlands and rain-fed uplands by 1 ton per hectare, which is very, very Herculean in nature. And technologies, critical services and knowledge are going to play an important role. When it comes to embodying the knowledge with critical services and technologies, I wanted to give a couple of numbers whom we want to reach when it comes to the rice as a sector. We have around 110,000 public sector extension workers who are working in the country, specifically for rice regions. We have around 2.84 lakhs of input dealers who are working in the rice regions of the country. We have around 2,000 NGOs working, around 500 KVKs working specifically in rice regions, and more than 60 millions of rice farmers, not to talk about the consumers who are dependent on rice as a sector. So can we reach with the traditional means of disseminating the knowledge or sharing the knowledge is huge question. And focus so far has been on individual components of knowledge management. Somebody is generating the knowledge in an isolated way, and somebody is working on sharing the knowledge in an isolated way. We have one more ICT project maybe initiated by one NGO, which is aiming at providing a piecemeal approach, providing the knowledge in a piecemeal approach. Can we have information needs integration into the ICT components in a holistic and knowledge intensive way was the crux of the matter which we wanted to emphasize. And as you all know, technologies, knowledge integration and science has to be put in place before we ever talk about e-agriculture in near future. If that is the case, scenarios of climate change vis-a-vis the options for the development, particularly rice development and production resources that are needed for enhancing the rice productivity and production in the climate change context, keeping in view the socio-economic conditions that are prevailing in the rice regions of the country, and integrating the mitigating and adaptation and coping strategies into the location-specific context is going to be very Herculean in nature. When it comes to the organizations that are working in agriculture in general and the rice in particular, which are working for development, distribution and use of the agriculture knowledge, as you all know that there are mandatory mandate restrictions and mandate conflicts which will not allow many of these organizations to work in tandem. Not to talk about the knowledge collaboration which we have been envisaging for the last couple of days. And can we have embodied knowledge along with the service coordination is going to be one of the crucial factors when it comes to e-agriculture is concerned. Can we have a single gateway whereby these linkages between various organizations who are responsible for developing, distributing and using, sharing, keeping in view the local context in nature is going to be very, very important. And when it comes to the local context, we need to be aware that there are more than 7 rice ecologies, rice ecosystems that are operating in the country. Each of these rice ecosystems are having their own local context, with socio-economic and policies and institutions that are working for the rice development of the that particular region. And the structures are varying from place to place, and the processes that are varying from place to place. And at the grassroots level, we need to understand what are those human, natural, financial, physical and social institutions or social resources that are available for a rice region. So keeping in view the knowledge requirements of this magnitude, we wanted to develop one rice knowledge management portal covering 15 major rice growing states of the country. When we say the nation level, we need to be aware that the depth and width of rice that is being cultivated in the country has to be kept in mind. You have almost all the rice ecologies of the world is being reflected in the country. You have Kuttanadu district of Kerala where rice is being cultivated in 2 meters below mean sea level to 2500 meters above mean sea level in Sopur and Baramulla districts of Kashmir. Can we have a multi-dimensional, simple repository of knowledge will not help. When it comes to working on the providing knowledge integration and knowledge management solutions, keeping in view these contexts and the contents in local language is concerned. We are also hoping to keep in view the workflow managements that are going into various organizations, as was discussed earlier, who are working for the overall rice development of the country. And we need to have a single gateway whereby content and services can be integrated in an effective way. And under this rice knowledge management portal, we envision to develop 6 information systems covering 15 major rice growing states of the country. And we have rice research information system where we wanted to cater to the needs of 650 rice scientists of the country. We have rice extension information system, even though the rice extension information system itself comprises rice farmers information system, service and general information system. For the sake of developing various platforms and the content, for the sake of easiness of developing various dimensions, functional requirements of this portal, we have divided. And we wanted to take into consideration the context in which the rice knowledge is going to be utilized, whereby the data is getting converted into information and information gets converted into knowledge by way of information, geometrics of information flows that are existing in individual and organization levels. And we are also going to strengthen the processes in which the rice knowledge is being shared in a non-digital and in a traditional way in rice as a sector. And we wanted to pilot some of the online content into offline content delivery mechanisms. And we have a rice research information system whereby we wanted to digitize maybe a couple of minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes, more than one. Core data sets of last 6 decades. We have huge repositories of rice location specific trials that are available with our Directorate of Rice Research with its 106 centers which are operating from across the country. And these are different functional requirements we wanted to develop. And under extension information system, we have up to district level, we wanted to give location specific package of practices in local languages and diagnostic tools for disease, abiotic and biotic stresses, and frequently asked questions. And we are going to have complementary work going on along with Kisan call centers of manage as far as FAQs and online querying system is concerned, so that no level 1 operator will be directly talking to the scientists in near future. They can readily go into start browsing rice knowledge management portal, and by bypassing the rice research institutes, they can answer in an effective way. And there are various other audio video clippings. We are aiming at developing around 3000 video clippings, which is of the highest in nature for any single crop that will be available in a local language in the world. And there are many first, we are planning to develop farmers information system covering not only English and Hindi, almost all 6 local languages. We are planning to translate the content, not only the translation of the content, but keeping the context in which that particular translation is going to be operational. That is also one of the most important aspects. And finding out nearest scientist station who is working on that specific area of rice also is going to be provided, and finding out nearest input dealer along with the nearest possible brand on which a farmer can rely upon, we are going to provide. And service information system, we wanted to integrate some of the key players of service providers in rice as a sector, and we are going to have linkages of vertical portals related to agriculture. Dr. Moni is here, with his 3,500 regulated market yards online EgMarkNet, we are going to give the indexing services through this rice knowledge management portal. And in general information system, we wanted to provide anything that is related to rice, which is of some interest, whether it is household wife or a policy maker sitting in Delhi, or if he wants to come to know what is the area production productivity at a district level and what are the trends because of the climate change scenarios, he should be able to browse through this rice knowledge management portals, general information system. We wanted to cater to the needs of common service centers, common information centers, and lot of 1,10,000 extension officers, out of which 650 are joint directors of agriculture, who are deprived of rice knowledge or training backbone or information backbone, thanks to the T&V systems, funding ceased to be existing. No longer that fortnightly training is available for the block level agricultural officers. Can we provide knowledge backbone for all those extension workers who are working in isolation? That is the aim of the view with which we wanted to plan this e-learning and virtual platform for rice knowledge. And we are also pilot testing some of the flagship initiatives like SMS based seed inventory system for hybrid seed production and hybrid rice cultivation. Seed production is in Andhra, and hybrid rice is being cultivated in eastern Indian states. And we are planning to pilot test the SMS based question answer forum and non-digital delivery systems covering around 15 Krishi Vigyan Kendras, and soil information system for select districts within these rice regions, and roping in KVK's common service centers to distribute, to develop their local content and to share their local content and to use the local content that is developed by some other stakeholders is going to be one of the crucial flagship initiatives we wanted to develop. These are all design and development. This is how we are going to operate in a consortium modus. We have around 8 content consortium partners. Below them we have 20 equip centers. In total 650 rice scientists working in under All India Coordinated Rice Improvement Project. And 650 scientists working on, I wanted to take only 1 minute, son, working for online question answer forum. We anticipate at least one scientist to answer one question in a month. That is going to beat the Kisan call centers track record on rice. And this is how we have developed few conceptual frameworks for developing these information systems and the knowledge management portal. Yeah, these are our major consortium content collaborators: Central Rice Research Institute and CDAC Hyderabad, and Indian Agriculture Research Institute, ICRISAT Hyderabad. Through ICRISAT we are roping in IIT, Kanpur and Bombay, ICR NH region, Meghalaya, RARS Regional Agriculture Research Station, Karjat, which comes under Dr. Balasaheb Savant Krishi Konkan Krishi Vidyapit, JDRS Mandya representing University of Agriculture Sciences, Bangalore, and Birsa Agricultural University of Jharkhand. And of course, DRR with its 46 funded centers and 60 voluntary centers, 106 equip centers which are working for developing the content. And instead of pilot testing the ICT initiatives, we wanted to integrate the ICTs into the structural and functional components of already existing strengths of All India Coordinated Rice Improvement Project. Of course, our Directorate of Rice Development, which is a ministerial body, is our convergent partner. And anyone who wants to make use of rice content or rice knowledge, the rice statistics, or in any format, will be the end user for this kind of rice knowledge management portal which we are envisioning. Thank you.